Hi guys, Tab here, hope you're all keeping well. Quite an interesting one for you this week. I'm on my way to Silverstone for a track day. But here's the weird thing, the track day isn't until tomorrow. And I live 85 miles or so away from Silverstone. I'm in the Taycan, it's an EV, and I'm going up tonight so I can stay at a hotel and ensure that I have a full charge in the morning. The hotel is near Silverstone and I can plug it in at the hotel, top this thing up overnight, ensure I start the day with 100% and enjoy the track day. Now normally if you were doing a track day you would just wake up early, drive there, maybe fill the car up at a petrol station before you get there and you're laughing. But I can't do that tomorrow. I can't risk waking up, getting there for 7:30 and having to charge on the way. What if it doesn't work? What if I can't start the day with a full tank of electrons? It could all go very wrong indeed. So it's quite a bizarre situation. And I wanted to document all of this on the way to show you if indeed you can track a Taycan. Does it really work? There is so much to think about, so many nuances to consider when doing this versus if you're doing it in a traditional petrol car, which is so much easier. So thinking about it in terms of practicality, I'm going to have to ensure that I do start the day with a full tank of juice. Now, the problem is that most racetracks don't have EV charging capability. They don't have stands. Now, we all know they all have filling stations, which is absolutely fine if you have a combustion car. You know, you get low on fuel, you drive there, you top it up on site, you're back on your way. But not every racetrack has an EV charging station. Now, I have contacted Silverstone via Pirelli. It's a Pirelli day, I'll come on to that in a bit, and asked them about the charging facilities there. Nobody's able to provide that much detailed information. I do know they have some points installed, but my concern is they might be AC only for the Type 2 CCS chargers, which I can only do 10 kilowatts on this because I don't have the 22 kilowatt onboard charger. Ideally, I would want a minimum of a 50 kilowatt DC charger so you can get some meaningful juice back into the car during a break. You're probably looking at about maybe 50% for an hour or so of charging, which is pretty good. You can take a break, chill out for a bit, get some range, fill those electrons back into the car and be on your way again. But they don't have that. Well, I don't know. I simply don't know, so I can't risk it. I'll obviously let you know when I get there. There is the Porsche Experience Centre on Silverstone on site, and they do have ultra rapid chargers there. But I contacted them in advance to say, is there any chance I could use it? I've already been on their experience day and I didn't use them then. Have I got one in the bank? They kind of said no. Thanks, Porsche. So I'm kind of on my own there. So again, you know, this is going to be a great experience to see how we get on and hopefully help you guys out as well. If you're considering tracking a Taycan at Silverstone, it's a Pirelli day. It's going to be awesome. There's loads of combustion cars going there as well. So I'm going to get some hot laps in some pretty cool cars, no doubt. I might get a bit of instruction as well. It's bizarre. Never tracked an EV before, so a bit of trepidation. It's going to be quite exciting to see how this thing gets around Silverstone. Now, another thing to note, Silverstone is just over 3 miles around the track, and this fully charged should get about 220 miles. So, you know, allowing for range, etc., and flat out, theoretically you should be able to get a good 60 laps out of this car fully charged. But I'm just going to throw this out there. I'm going to chuck my guess into the hat. I'm going to say there is absolutely no way we'll be seeing that when flying around Silverstone. I reckon the range could be as much as halved in this thing. Who knows? It is a guess. We will be getting plenty of regen, absolutely, but I just don't know. I simply don't know. So again, great to document all this and see how we get on, but I am excited. It's going to be very interesting. Never done this before. As I say, I'll keep you posted as we go. Okay guys, so 2 hours to do 2 miles. M40 was closed between junctions 2 and 4, so I've been in the traffic for a long time and I was down about 20% battery, so I've plugged into an Ionity and let's see what kind of rates we're getting here. 58 kilowatts, a lowly 58 kilowatts, but I'm low on battery, so hopefully you should see that increase as the battery, yeah, that 102 kilowatts already. So a top up to get me there, but it's going to be a long journey. Time for some food. Okay, so got some food, back into the car. We've put on about 45% in probably 15 or so minutes, so really good progress there in terms of the charging rate. Still only 103 kilowatts, it could be upwards of 200 plus if we're really pushing the boat out, but we're not. It says it's ready to drive again. That means I can get on the road basically, because I'll be left with enough juice by the time I get to my destination to top it up again. So I'll be left with about 20%, but I'm going to take it a little bit higher than that. I wanted to get it to about 85% before I head on my way, just so I know I've got some decent charge should the worst happen before tomorrow. Okay, we're up to 80. You can see it's slowed down a bit now, so I think we're good. I'll leave it at that, and yeah, let's get out of here. So stop this. A bit stiff that. And we're good, on the way. PCM saying I've got that far to go, 1 hour, 6 minutes, 58 miles an hour, 53% on the battery left when I get there, which is probably about right. Overnight, should be able to get it to 100 and then get around the track. Okay, just got here and it said we'd have 52% on arrival. We do, so I'm going to get it plugged into this charger there and pay 70 pence kilowatt hour to fill this thing up to 100% overnight. And then we should be good. Fingers crossed. Another important thing to check here, that we've got no timers enabled. I don't want to risk them. No profiles enabled at the moment. What we do want is the general charging profile. We want to edit that. We want minimum charge to be 100. A bit naughty, but it's got to be done right now. So that should be the charging profile that it uses to get it up to 100% overnight. Morning time, just got back into the car. It is unfortunately not so good. It stopped at 93%, 228 miles. I think what's happened is it hit £30 on the app that I had to download to use those chargers over there. There's an app for every charger, and it hit £30 max charge and has stopped, but not too bad. We'll get down to Silverstone, see if there's anything we can plug into there. Onwards and upwards. Okay, we are here, and yes, I am the only EV. There's always one, isn't there? So this is going to be fun. Can you track a Taycan? We'll find out for sure. Loads of decent cars here, loads of Porsche representation, loads of wings you can see there, people that really mean business. Lambos, there's a 765 as well, so it should be pretty good. Lots of action around the track. Also got 2 test drives booked, one in an Artura, excellent, and a 296 GTB to see how that gets on. So either way, even if I only manage 5 laps before running out of juice, it should be a fun day. I spoke too soon. Another Taycan. Excellent. Okay, so here we are. Can you track a Taycan? We're at Silverstone and we're going around a track. So yes, I think you can. And it's pretty good. I've got some very nice feedback coming through. We're in Sport Plus mode right now. Now I've got to make an immediate observation. The brakes are a little bit strange because you go from recuperation into actual brakes and you get this kind of weird lunge, which is pretty interesting. But honestly, speed has never felt so slow in this car. It's bizarre, but it's really very good. You can feel the weight of the car for sure. But I've got Martin in front of me there, hopefully you can see that on the other camera, and he's good. He knows what he's doing. He's done many laps of this. I've done not so many laps. Yeah, so we had the back end come out there and I wasn't going very fast, so that's when the weight of the car is already making itself known. So I'm gonna have to just nurse it a little bit on the power, which is a shame. I've just been out in the Artura, test drove that, and honestly, that thing, next level. It actually goes into the bends like you wouldn't believe. This thing, I think, you know, Martin's going to be pulling away from us quite easily because this thing doesn't get around the corners as well, but I can use the brakes, the carbon ceramics, to my advantage, maybe get a bit of leeway back that way, but it's really very good. In terms of battery, we've already used about 10%, so I'm not going to get much out of this today as I thought, but yeah, it's really very impressive. I mean, this is an EV. What Porsche have done with this is phenomenal, and down the straights there's not much in it between myself and him. In fact, he's probably quite fast and harder on the brakes for this one. This is my least favourite corner on the track. Just keeping it gentle there, just on the limit of what the car can manage them. A little bit of trail there into that corner, and then ease it back out progressively on the power. Come in nice and tight for this corner here. You can hear the tyres squealing there, but it's very good. It's very good. The brakes on this car are absolutely phenomenal. Brake in a straight line, ease it in. Probably broke a bit too much there, to be fair. Hard on the brakes there, get it tucked in. Not the best line, I'm sure, but I really don't know this circuit. Keeping an eye on the tyre pressures as well. I've let a few PSI out the tyres, and they're climbing a little bit because this car's so heavy, it's going to really warm up the tyres. Got a car behind me now, so I'm just going to have to, right on the limit of what this car can manage. I've got a car behind me, so let's get over, let him past. A Lambo flying around there. Very cool. Yeah, you can really hear the tyres struggling. So I think this car is good. It's really very, I mean, honestly, for an EV, I can't get my head around just how good it is round a track. But corners, yeah, you just can't hide 2.3 tons. You cannot hide 2.3 tons no matter how hard you try. It's a big old beast, but it's good. It's good fun. Taking that one in nice and tight there. Hard on the brakes there. Aggressively into that corner, just touching that apex. The pickup on this is really very good. It's really very good. Right in on that curb there, feeding the power out. Watch my distance to him. Don't want to get too close. He's my guide for the track, so it's good to watch him and learn the line, because easy on the power on this one. You can just hear those tyres squealing. Bit of trail there. Yeah, not going to get it much faster around this corner. You can really hear the tyres working. 2.7 bar. 2.7 bar. So the tyres are getting warmer again. Might have to call it after this lap potentially. Brakes are really very good though. I've already used another 10%, down at 74% battery. Bit hot on that corner there. hard on those brakes. The brakes are the best part of this car on the track, I think. They're phenomenal. It does pick up well as well. Look where you're going, look down the line of the track there. I can leave the braking a bit later, I think. They're that good. Right hard on the brake. Brakes are phenomenal. Just can't get over how good they are. Well done, brakes. Take the speed off progressively into that corner. Past the centre there. Who's indicating? Let him go. Let him go. 120, 125. Okay, that's interesting. The brake held itself down then. I think probably the car was trying to do something for me. I think we're going to pit it on this one though. Or maybe the next. Might have a cool down. Yeah, I'm going to have a cool off lap. My tyres have gone up to 2.9, 33 bar there, so just cool it off on this lap. What fun though. What a car. What a car for a track. We've got 67%, so it's absolutely eating through the batteries right now. My favourite bend, this one.
Later, it's got the old school V8 engine in it, so still sounds great.
Just as a little bit of charging update for you. So I'm at 61% battery. Ideally I'd like to put some more juice in it before the afternoon session, but it doesn't look I'm going to be able to do that. Now there are chargers that have been installed at the wing, but they're not yet active, so they're all barriered off and you can't use them. There's also 3 pod points just at the National Centre over there, and alas they're all being used right now and they're going to be tied up all day I think, so can't use those either. So a bit of a quandary. What I think I'm going to do a bit naughtily is just rock up to the Porsche Experience Centre and explain the situation and see if I can plug in for 15 minutes or so. That'll give me a mighty fast boost on one of their chargers. So it's just not quite ready for EVing here. Yeah, I hope it is. Might just buy an ice car, who knows. Snuck over to the Porsche Experience Centre to see if I can borrow these chargers that aren't being used. Alas no, they're not for public use. So right now I'm a little bit stuck in terms of juicing the car. I'm just going to have a, sounded good, a last few laps and then find a charger on the way home. Such is life, but there you go. Here with Martin, who you may remember from previous videos with his 981. Hello Martin.
Hello, how's it going?
Obligatory letting some air out the tyres before getting on circuit. We are back, and what a result that was. Down to 30% battery. Right, I wanted to give it a bit more context. Now I've had a few days to digest exactly what happened on track, so I just wanted to insert this bit at the end of the video. We have to start with the Taycan itself. Yes, it was very capable for a 4-door family saloon that weighs 2.3 tonnes. And there is no hiding that 2.3 tonnes at all. You really do feel it when you go into the corners. And you might think, yeah, it's going to help stick the tyres onto the road and get you around that track. But 2.3 tonnes means you've got a lot of inertia to overcome around a track. So the best thing you can do is have downforce. Downforce doesn't add to the mass of the car. That's where you can have a nice light sports car with plenty of downforce at speed. It doesn't mean you've got any more mass to overcome, any more inertia, but it does mean you've got a lot more weight. The difference between weight and mass pressing you down onto that tarmac, which means you can corner very quickly, which is why F1 cars can get around some of those very fast bends flat out, which is absolute insanity when you think about it. So mass, whichever way you look at it, is going to be your enemy on track, and the Taycan has plenty of it. Now, the next thing is the brakes. The brakes, although they were very good, they were not consistent, and that is because of the regen braking. I found it was doing a different thing at the same corners every lap. It was trying something different. It felt different. The feel was not consistent. I was out in the Artura and the 296 GTB. Did the same thing every time. Nice consistent feel there, but the Taycan was doing something different because of that regen braking that it's trying to do. I think the Taycan, I hope the GT version that's coming could really do with the track mode where it disables the regen braking altogether and just allows you to use those massive carbon ceramics so you can get some consistency during your laps. So for me, that's another area that could be improved. Steering feels as good as expected for such a large car. Let's talk about the range of the car during the day. How many laps I was getting. So I was getting about 30% battery usage for 4 to 5 laps. 4 to 5 laps out of 30% battery usage, which is not that much, which means at best you're looking at just 15 laps for a full charge, which is under 50 miles of range at full beans in this car. And that is because the faster you go, the more motor back EMF you have to overcome and the more power you need to drink. So as soon as you get to the ludicrous speeds that you do around Silverstone in this car, this thing really starts to drink through those electrons like you would not believe. And I was a little bit disappointed just how much it was chewing through those electrons. Now, to give a little bit of context, there was a 765 LT, McLaren 765 LT there, that was doing 10 laps to a tank, which is fine if you can get to a fuel station on site and fill it up in 5 minutes, which you absolutely can. The charging, we have to touch on the charging. So unfortunately, that day there were no available chargers on site. The new chargers that are being installed at the wing were not ready. They simply were not ready. They were barriered off and I could not use them. And there are also some 7 kilowatt chargers that I found down the back of the a wooden shack in the members club that were all being used. So there was no way I could charge this car on site, which was a real shame. So that's why I tried my luck, went over to Porsche, the Experience Centre, to see if I could blag the use of their chargers. Alas, it was a no. I know they're just doing their job there, and they've got to do what they've got to do. It just was unfortunate. I was hoping they'd let me, but no, no usage of those there, which is a real shame. And this is one of the big problems with racetracks and EVs. A lot of racetracks don't even allow EVs. If there is a rapid charger that was put in at Silverstone, it's probably going to sit there empty a lot of the time, and if it's put in by a provider, is it financially viable? So the only way I could do it is obviously to drive off site, get some juice back into it, and then drive back to site. But that eats a lot of time during a track day, and you might not get as many laps as you could if you had an ICE car. So yes, can you track a Taycan? Yes, you can. Is it easy? No, it is not. But let's cut back to the rest of the video for the outro.
Can you track a Taycan? Yes, you absolutely can, but not for long. I think if this paddock we're in now has a couple of ultra rapid charges, I'd be out again. Alas, no, I'm down to 30%. When you're at 30% in a Taycan, you don't have full power, so I need to go and find a charger to plug in. It's now 3 o'clock, this runs till 5. I'd have to leave the site, probably go to Porsche, use their ultra rapid charger, get back here. Maybe that's an hour, probably have an hour left. It could be done, but again, it's a bit of a challenge. I wish it was easier, because honestly, that car today has been phenomenal. It's so good. I mean, from just the perspective of being completely surprised by what it can do around the track. So yeah, you can track a Taycan, just not for very long. So I'll leave it on this one. I hope you enjoyed. Do sub, do like. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye for now.